All right, we are going to get started. I know a lot of you guys are just getting to work if you're on the West Coast, and if you're on the East Coast, it's lunchtime. So we're going to get started. I am so excited about this topic. This topic has been on my mind for probably 2 or 3 months because this is something that, marketing is changing constantly. It's like medicine. Medicine is changing constantly. You constantly have to stay up on everything that is going on in medicine. And in our world, we have to do that with marketing. And AI has just blown up. And so we have personally at Medical Marketing Whiz been really paying attention to this answer engine optimization. And we've been incorporating this in our own business. And I'm telling you guys, our business has absolutely exploded with zero ad spend. So I really feel like this is kind of the secret sauce. And we want to get out ahead of this so that you guys are well equipped to know exactly what you need to do strategy wise to be able to be recommended in things like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, all of these AI platforms, because my feeling is, and I even just look at my own behavior, I'm using these AI platforms a lot more now, even just to like research things. So you want to make sure that you are not missing out on patients finding you through these AI platforms. So we are super pumped to be able to go over this topic with you today. We are recording this. So if you join late or you want your office manager or somebody to watch this, we will get the replay out probably within the next 24 hours. So just to share with you, I know we've got a mix of clients and we've got some new folks on here as well, where maybe this is the first webinar Medical Marketing Whiz that you are attending and you're like, who the heck are these people? Well, so you have Lori and you have Sherry from Medical Marketing Whiz here on today's webinar. And our biggest mission, you guys, is to partner with the best providers. That might be a doctor in functional medicine or women's health or aesthetics or longevity. We have excellent nurse practitioners and other, people in the healthcare space that are, I believe, kind of the leaders in this field. You guys are people that are bringing in advanced services to your practice. You're spending more time with patients. You're going to the medical conferences and learning new skills, and we want more people to find out about people like you. So one of the things that I pride ourselves on, and we've been doing this just shy of 10 years now, is that we are very picky about who we work with. We want to actually work with the best doctors and other healthcare providers. And our kind of greater mission is to have that megaphone and let patients know, hey, these are the people that are change makers in the healthcare space, and we want to connect them with you. So one of the things that we do is we do these webinars to really help educate you guys, help you understand the why behind why we're doing some of these things. And even if you're planning to do some of this stuff yourself, that you kind of understand what it is that you actually need to do to be successful. Because when you're in the space that you're in, this is not just turn on Meta ads or Google ads and you fill your schedule. Yet this is the solution that most marketing agencies will give you. We need to think about the fact that this is a patient journey. This is a decision-making process that people have to go to in order to decide to kind of pay out of pocket for services. And so we need to make sure that we're doing everything possible to get you found and get you chosen. So today's topic is really, it's just exciting. I'm super excited about sharing it with you. So we are going to be talking about what we call AEO, answer engine optimization. So we're going to talk first about what in the heck is that? And then we're going to talk about how search engine optimization, which is kind of the traditional thing that you absolutely should be doing, how that works and affects things like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and those other sort of AI platforms. And then we're going to give you guys 5 strategies that you can start to implement as soon as Monday morning that will help you to start becoming recommended in these AI platforms. And then Sherry is actually going to do a hands-on demo of a super cool tool, which is how you can use social media and AI together. It's our Dr. Social Whiz platform. So she's going to give you a whole cool tour of how exactly that works. I think you guys are going to be super excited. And then we always like to have a little ethical bribe at the end for you guys to stick with us to the end. So there'll be a little freebie, a pretty awesome freebie actually for everybody that sticks to the end. This is probably going to be maybe about, I'm shooting for maybe like 20, 25 minutes. All right. So first and foremost, let's talk about AI assistants. So the things like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, all of those sort of AI tools, and your traditional search engines like Google. So one of the things right now is in AI, we're not really seeing at this time any ads. This is one reason why people are using AI. They don't have to siphon through all of these different ads and things that you see on Google. You're also able to ask questions in more of a natural way. It's funny when I use ChatGPT, and Sherry, you probably are like this too. I feel like it's my friend. Like I end up saying please and thank you to this thing. And I feel like it does give me better answers when I'm doing research with it. So it's just a way to ask questions in a way that's just more natural. You don't have to like know the keyword. It knows what you're thinking and will spit out an answer for you.
Well, it gets to know you the more you engage with it. So it's going to show you the things that are relevant to kind of your history.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Whereas on like Google, you kind of put in the term, you hope you get the right search, and then you've got to like filter through all the answers and kind of figure out the answer for yourself. So the results on AI is much more conversational, whereas on things like Google and Bing, it's going to be a little bit more linear. Currently with these AI tools, it's going to provide your results primarily in text, and then we are seeing some images being loaded into that. Obviously, with things like Google, you get a lot more in terms of your results. You might get maps, you might get videos, and those sorts of things. And then the other biggest thing with AI, and again, I feel like this is getting better over time, but it's easy to find an answer, but you can't always trust that that answer is 100% accurate. And I would say that arguably probably also for Google a little bit, right? Like sometimes a website might come up that isn't actually an accurate result. But I do feel like these AI tools are getting smarter and smarter. And I would expect that some of that accuracy will definitely improve as we kind of go along. So this is some information that actually just came out early this year by Statista that looked at the search behavior of people. And this is changing so fast, you guys. And this is why we wanted to get this webinar done as soon as possible, because in 2013, there were 13 million people using AI. And by 2027, it's going to be 90 million or more people in the US that are using AI for their online searches. So that transition from Google to using AI, this is only going to continue to grow. So now is the time to understand what you need to do so that you're not playing catch up when everybody else has kind of already started to do some of this stuff. So I want to first define what is answer engine optimization. I've also heard this called GEO. I think they're sort of interchangeable terms. But basically what this means is optimizing your website and your content so that these platforms, whether it's ChatGPT, which is linked to Bing, or Google now has this Google Gemini and this Google AI overview, that they're going to recommend your practice first when a patient is seeking those quick, trusted answers online. So this really comes down to content and links, getting more and more people to talk about you and what you offer online besides just your website. So we're going to dive into kind of some specifics of what you exactly need to do on that. And honestly, you guys, I see this as being a secret weapon. This is going to be the thing that if you start doing this now, you're going to leave all of your competitors in the dust. And I can tell you that Sherry and I both, we do a lot of what we would call marketing strategy calls for people. You guys, we haven't spent 1 cent on ads. We've been doing this for our own agency, and our entire calendar is full of strategy calls. So I can tell you from a business owner standpoint, this 100% works. And over the last 3 months, we've started to incorporate this into our client strategies as well. And I'm just like so excited about it. So I want to talk about where does AI pull data from? I think this is important for you to know in order for you to know what to do next. So typically when somebody is going into ChatGPT or any of these sort of platforms and they're looking for some information, they're typing out a question, they're typically going to pull from the top 10 to 12 websites. Now, everybody that's on here for the most part is a local business. So we're talking about 10 to 12 top websites in your local area. If that person is, let's say, searching for a doctor, or they're researching, let's say they're researching like a different medical device or an aesthetic device, they will value those local businesses in that top to 10 to 12 that they're looking for. So number one, you got to get your website ranked. If your website is on page 20 of Google, you don't have a prayer of getting found in these search results. YouTube is also a key player in AI overviews. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, but out of any of the social media, YouTube is going to be the big one when it comes to AI. You need to create concise, skimmable, authoritative content. So this is a bit of a shift than what we have seen in the past with like blog articles. Like blog articles are really kind of like keyword heavy. This is going to be more bullet point format, more skimmable content. And then we'll talk a little bit about how to make your content authoritative, meaning positioning you as an expert. If your material comes across like you're an expert, the AI platforms really, really like that. They also look for fresh, recent content. So again, I think a lot of folks, they've invested in a website. Let's say they've hired like Tebra or Dr. Logic or one of these like big website companies to create their website like 2 years ago, and they really haven't done much to it. You're actually not going to get found in search. So one of the things we do, like when we create websites, is we have a strategy for making sure that there's constantly fresh content added to that site, because again, they're looking for something that's relevant and new. They're also looking for the depth of your content, meaning you can't just have one article about one service. They want you to kind of dive in deep and have a lot of content on that one particular subject that you want to get found for. And then also we'll talk a little bit about media and industry sites. So how do you get your content on news station websites, radio stations, or maybe be even mentioned in industry publications? So we'll dive into that a little bit, but this in general is kind of what they're looking for. So they're looking for ranked websites, they're looking for videos, they're looking for freshness of content, they're looking for depth of the subject matter, and then they're looking also externally for other media outlets and industry sites that are also talking about this. So I thought it would be fun to just show you guys, again, we have been doing this ourselves. And so I just went to ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT, who's the best marketing agency for functional medicine and hormone therapy? Let's say you're looking for those services and you go to ChatGPT. Well, Medical Marketing Whiz is one of them that is recommended. I took it a step further. Hey, I'm an OBGYN doctor. I do hormones and I do vaginal rejuvenation. Who should I work with? Medical Marketing Whiz. This is because we have been following these exact same profiles. I have had 5 marketing strategy calls in the last 2 weeks. And I always ask people, how'd you hear about us? They all said ChatGPT. So this isn't just because I'm using it myself and it's telling me what I want to hear. This is what we're hearing from people that are booking calls with us. Our business in the last 2 months is up 26% without spending 1 cent on ads. So again, this is something that's possible for you guys too. The other quick story I wanted to tell is I had a call, it's probably been almost a month now. And it was weird because it wasn't a doctor that booked a call with me. It was actually a person that runs a functional medicine conference in Colorado. And I asked her, I was like, how did you find out about us? Because what she was looking for was an agency to actually help her market the medical conference to doctors. Now, there's nothing on my website that says that we do that. So after the call, I went to ChatGPT and I wrote this. I'm curious, someone booked a sales call with me that's from this company, which is an organization that is hosting a functional medicine conference in July. They told me that ChatGPT told them to call Medical Marketing Whiz. How did you, this is me talking to it nice, which I thought was super cool. How did you come up with this recommendation? So it spit out exactly what I'm going to go over with you guys. Content matching. So it found that when somebody searches for a functional medicine conference, because we are deeply involved in functional medicine, because we have a website page that's about functional medicine, we have content that's about functional medicine on our website, they thought we would be a natural fit. They know that we do events because our website says that we do events and webinars for doctors. So they thought, hey, this is somebody that's wanting to do an event. They might be a good agency to work with. They also looked at our search engine optimization and they looked at our industry presence. So they looked at the fact that we have been mentioned in discussions in posts that even the AI has helped generate. And then lastly, they also looked at the events that I speak at. So when I speak at a medical conference, I do a press release talking about how I'm speaking at this medical conference. Like next week, I'm going to be in Florida at the AMMG meeting, which is the Age Management Medical Group meeting, which if any of you guys are in Miami, come check it out. It's going to be an awesome meeting. So I'll do a press release about how I'm speaking at that. So the AI knows that I'm speaking at that meeting. So therefore it recommended us to this person that was looking for someone to help them market their conference. So anyways, I thought that was super cool. Just wanted to share. All right. So how did we do that for ourselves? And how are we doing that for clients? And what are 5 things that you can do to start getting your practice ready to be mentioned in these AI platforms? So the first thing is going to be, as I mentioned at the beginning, timely, relevant content on your website. So AI is going to favor content that shows relevance in real time. So one of the things you can do is you can publish articles that tie into current events or trends. So just as an example, we work with a lot of people that specialize in menopause management. And there is a documentary out right now that is all over the internet called The M Factor, which is this menopause documentary. And so we might be publishing articles for our clients about how our client is hosting a screening of this event, because that's one of the things that we do. That is something that is a current event. It's something that other people are talking about. And so then if somebody is looking for a menopause doctor, they're going to come across the fact that one of our clients is hosting a screening of this movie, this documentary on menopause. And that is something that would be a recent event. Also, like sometimes you'll have like maybe a celebrity just got, I don't know, there was one of them that Amy on our team was telling us about that just got like his tattoo removed. And it was like this big thing because he was a guy that had like tattoos everywhere. And that might be something to hop on, like if you do tattoo removal. So, keeping in touch with what some of these trends are and then creating content about how, if there's people that are looking up that trend, they're going to come across your content. Step-by-step guides. So anything about like, step-by-step skin rejuvenation, step-by-step hormone optimization. I mean, there's so many different like sort of step-by-step guides, that stuff that people look up. And FAQs. So this is when you're thinking about like depth of content. You could literally have an article on every single frequently asked question on that subject. So you're tackling what people are searching for, but you're also getting the depth of the content. And then anything that's like how to, and this is really big with YouTube as well. People always go to YouTube, like how to change a tire, how to, how to like lose weight, or all of those sort of things. People use those as queries. So if you have answers to those questions on your website, that's going to help you get found in these AI platforms. The next tip is going to be leveraging public relations and industry authority. So I'm going to kind of tackle both of these separately. This is where we were talking about getting more links and other places on the internet that are talking about you. So that can be accomplished through press releases. Press releases, I love them as a search engine optimization strategy and also an answer engine optimization strategy because press releases accomplish two things. They build authority for your domain. So sort of imagine hundreds of media outlets, and I'm going to show you guys an example, that are linking back to your website. That helps you dominate the search results and it gets you mentioned in the media. And it also allows you to get like kind of some social proof. You know, you're as seen on the Associated Press, NBC, CBS, et cetera, because your articles are being published on those other news station websites. So just to give you an example, I'm going to hop out of this here for a quick second. And those of you guys that are on this, that are clients of ours, you guys know all about press releases because we're doing them for you. But for those of you that maybe have not done a press release before, basically what this is this is an article that rather than that article just living on your website, that article gets sent out via Newswire. And so you get a report sort of like this. So this is an article. This is a client of ours that won an award. She was voted, one of the best women's health doctors in the country. And so she's in Pennsylvania. So we sent it out in the Pennsylvania Newswire via Google News, the Associated Press, Yahoo News, et cetera. And then if you scroll down, these are all media outlets, and there's literally hundreds of them. Some of them are local, some of them are regional, some of them are national that link back to her article. So just as an example, this is an ABC TV station. So if I click on this link, this goes to her ABC TV station, local ABC channel 27. This is her article about how she is this best doctor. And this is a link back to her website, as well as throughout this article, this is a link back to her website. And then down here at the bottom, this is a link back to her website. So this builds a lot of authoritative links where there's not just her website that says she won Best Doctor, but there's hundreds of news articles that say that. The AI platforms pick up on that content. So press releases, again, are kind of a little hidden strategy. And again, you get a report. We do these for all sorts of things. If somebody's launching a new service, they bring in a new provider, they have their, webinar or event and those sort of things come up. And you get guaranteed publishing in the Associated Press, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, radio stations, as well as a lot of newspaper publications. And again, authoritative backlinks back to your website and also signals to AI platforms. The other thing that I did want to mention is industry authority. So again, it is crazy to me. We have one particular relatively new client that wants to be known as the go-to menopause doctor in the area. And this particular provider is a member of the Menopause Society, formerly known as NAMS, North American Menopause Society. And they pay, to be a member of this and be a certified menopause practitioner. And you go to this website for menopause.org and you look them up and there's no picture, there's no bio, there's no nothing. Well, that website, menopause.org, gets a lot of website traffic. And so you want to make sure if you're a member of these sort of societies that you have gone in and updated your profile, because that now gets you linked on an authoritative website with your profile that says that you're this sort of, certified practitioner. And that helps you, again, get mentioned in AI as well as just seen as an authority in your area. So not only make sure, and I just threw a handful of logos on here, there's tons of these organizations, even like your Chamber of Commerce, things like that. Make sure that you've built out your profile on there. And then I would also, just from an authority standpoint, also add these logos to your website. So don't have that you're a certified menopause practitioner buried in your bio on page 3 of your website that nobody's reading. You want this sort of stuff to be on the home page of your website. So again, this is a little bit of homework. The other ones too that you could do is all these devices that you have at your office. So, like I used to be a rep for NovaSure. It's an endometrial ablation device back about 10 years ago and more. And you could go on like hologic.com and do find a doctor. And then you could look up all the NovaSure doctors in your area. You also want to make sure that all these devices that you've bought, that you're listed on their website, because that also gives you authoritative links that will help you with search engines and also answer engines. All right. Number three. Number three is going to be following SEO best practices. And this is where answer engine optimization and search engine optimization absolutely work together. Because if you start doing answer engine optimization and you don't have good SEO of your website, guess what? It's not going to work. So the two of these go together. So the goal here, if you remember at the beginning, I said the AI tools pull from the top 10 to 12 websites. So therefore, you need to get your website ranked in the top 10 to 12 in your specialty in your local area. So how do we do that? Well, number one, we got to know what Google actually wants to see and these AI platforms want to see in a website. We talked about content. You need a page of content for every single one of the major things that you do. So it can't just be like you have one page of your website that says services and it lists out like 10 different things that you do. It's not enough content for the AI platforms or even somebody on Google to find you. We talked about freshness. I beat that with a dead horse. You got to add lots and lots of content and not just like set it and forget it. Your website needs to look good and work properly on a phone. It needs to load fast. The backlinks, kind of what we just talked about, lots and lots of places linking back to you, your schema, the power of your brand, your domain authority, is your site secure, and then the overall user experience. And I threw WordPress on here because, again, this is something that I see a lot. If your website is built in Weebly or Wix or GoDaddy or Squarespace, some of these do-it-yourself platforms, you don't have a chance at getting found, not only in Google, or really definitely not in AI. So you want your website to be done in WordPress. And I totally get it at the beginning. Sometimes people do this because they have like no budget and they got to like get a website. But at the end of the day, you're not saving money by building your website in one of these platforms. They do not rank well. A lot of them don't really have good SEO on them. And also a lot of them, the company kind of owns the template. So if like Wix goes out of business, you lose your website. So getting your website in WordPress is going to be important. That is something we can help with. If that's something that you guys are interested in, let us know. Once you've got your website done, you need to make sure your website actually has search engine optimization. This is a scan that we can do for any of you guys for free. Most of our clients that are on this call will know that we do this, and we, sometimes they'll get some updates. It's like, hey, can you scan it again and make sure that the web person actually did what they said they were going to, and we can actually do that check too. So you'll notice here, page speed, let me make this a little bit bigger. Page speed is really slow, right? If your page is slow, guess what? They're zipping past you and they're not going to show you in AI and they're not going to show you in Google. Images, make sure those are sized appropriately. Make sure you don't have a bunch of loops going on in the background of this template that you chose your website to be in. All of that stuff will slow your site down. You also need to make sure that you're telling Google and the AI platforms what is actually on this page. If you do not have meta descriptions are arguably the most important piece of text on your entire website. I had a call actually earlier this morning. This person hired a website person on Fiverr, one of these like freelance sites. They had no descriptions on any of the pages. This is like having the most beautiful office and never putting a sign outside. It doesn't matter how great you are. It doesn't matter how great your equipment is. If everybody's driving by because they have no clue what's inside, it's not helping you. So making sure that your website has meta descriptions is very, very important for search engine optimization and all of the AI platforms. All right. So before we get into Sherry's part, I want to touch quickly on YouTube. YouTube is huge for AI. And this is what I'm so excited about this, because when you look at the industries that benefit the most from videos in AI platforms, healthcare, you guys, is number one. So again, when we think about social media, we get so thinking about Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. YouTube is the king when it comes to actually getting found in search. You guys also have to remember Google owns YouTube. So Google cares more about YouTube than they care about Instagram and Facebook. And not to say that you shouldn't be doing Instagram and Facebook. Yes, you absolutely should be doing them. However, building out a YouTube channel, this is the year to do it, because not only is it going to help you get found in search, it's going to help you get found in AI. The type of videos, so we do webinars with our clients, which are really, really great. Those can be long form. They can be split up into small, short little videos. Any sort of instructional content, any sort of how-tos, demonstrations of equipment, demonstrations of procedures, that sort of stuff will do really, really well on YouTube. And when we look at YouTube citations and growth over AI, right? Total number of times that YouTube stuff is mentioned in AI is up 414%. How-to queries, visual demonstrations. So again, thinking about the type of stuff that you should make in your YouTube content, that's the stuff that is most likely to get picked up by things like ChatGPT and that. So YouTube is a definite must. And then lastly, before we get into the social media piece, is going to be local search, right? Because most everybody that's on here is probably a local, either maybe you're telehealth and you can do a whole entire state, or you're local, like just, you're 25 miles around your office. In order to get found in AI for local people that are searching, you need to optimize your business for local search. That means your Google business profile, your directory listings, all of the healthcare listings. I'll talk to you a little bit about what NAP is. It stands for name, address, phone number consistency, and reviews. So if you have a good reputation and a lot of Google reviews, the AI is also more likely to recommend you because you're considered like a good doctor, an authority in your local area. So Google Business Profile, and I have a whole entire webinar all about Google Business Profile, so we're just going to scratch the surface here, but make sure that you've claimed your listings, you've added your correct categories, you have a keyword-rich description, you've added any of your business attributes, you have your entire service area, you have all of your services listed, you're posting on Google Business, and your social media is connected. All of this needs to be done under the hood of your profile. And these posts are also going to get picked up by Google's Gemini AI, or Google, what they call AI overview. So these sort of posts are really, really important. In addition,
and one thing, just to touch on your profile,
yeah,
this is something you want to monitor, on a regular basis. So it's not just to set it and forget it. Google can take suggestions from people, and sometimes you'll go in and it'll say accept suggestion or not, and you have to, reject it or accept it. And then they'll add attributes and things like that. So it's not a set and forget. You kind of have to be active in checking it on a consistent basis.
yeah, I've seen people's phone numbers that all of a sudden get changed to the wrong phone number by somebody on Google. So you
Yeah, or
definitely
like a
want to be,
website will change because it might, there's just things that can drop if like a suggestion comes in.
yep,
So it's just something to be aware of, that it's not just, oh, I set up my profile, I'm done.
yep,
It's a consistent thing to make sure you're, staying on top of it and getting shown in those searches.
yep, yep. Good point. The other listings. So we've got Google, right? But we've got Bing. Bing and ChatGPT are married. So if you don't have a Bing profile, you're missing out on a major platform for that people are searching on. Yahoo Business, all of your social media are links. Yelp, okay, I hate Yelp as a company because they'll bug you and try to sell you Yelp packages. You don't need those, but you do need a Yelp profile. Yelp is hooked to the iPhone and Apple Maps. So again, if you don't have a Yelp profile, a lot of times you won't come up on Apple Maps. So all of these are links back to your website. Think of these as important business directory listings that are talking about you. In addition to that, please, please, please look up any sort of, if you're a doctor, you got to look up your health grades and vitals and WebMD and DocSpot and all of these sort of listings and make sure that your name, address, and phone number matches what's on your Google profile. If these are not claimed or you got a bunch of different addresses and naming of your business on the internet, you get dinged on what they call NAP score, which is your name, address, and phone number. And so essentially what this is this is looking for like how accurate is your business information. And if you've got like a hodgepodge mess on the internet with all like your old address at your old practice that you used to be at 3 years ago, Google and the AI platforms don't know if that's really your address. So therefore, they're not confident in showing you as a result. So this is also a scan that we can do for you guys, like no charge, so that you can sort of see like, hey, how is my consistency across the internet?
Yep. And I like to compare all of this as your digital footprint.
Yeah.
So you want to be showing up in all of these. You want a strong digital footprint and consistent, like she said, like Lori said, with your name, address, phone number. And it'll ding you if it's road spelled out or RD dot abbreviated.
Yeah, it
So,
has to be exact down to the punctuation mark.
hmm.
And then lastly, we touched on this a little bit, but like ask for reviews. So organic traffic is going to be significantly, this is free traffic for you guys. If you just focus on getting reviews, you're going to get found in search. You're going to get more website traffic. You're going to get more direction requests. And again, I think people forget how important this is. Like, I'm not going out to dinner at a restaurant that's got 2-star reviews. I'm not going to buy something on Amazon that only 3 people have bought, right? Like, especially if somebody's going to pay out of pocket for healthcare services or aesthetic services, they're going to do their homework and you want to be positioned as that authority. So this is also part of like the authority piece with AI is if you have a lot of reviews. So just make it a goal to become obsessed with getting reviews. You can do it simple with like QR codes. We have software that kind of auto takes care of it for you. It does texting, it does email, it'll sort of survey people before it asks them to leave a review as well. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that that's a priority. All right, Sherry. I'm going to have Sherry touch on just kind of an overview of AI and social media, and then I'll stop sharing, and then you can take over and kind of show them the demo.
Yep. And I'm kind of if I've looked distracted, I'm answering questions in the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you for
So
doing
when
it.
people are putting questions and I'm trying to answer without, trying to get too distracted here. Yeah, so let's face it, social media is one of those things that you have to have, and I know not everybody loves. Coming up with content every day, it's pretty exhausting. Um, you know, you're trying to figure out what to put, what do I talk about today? So we created this platform called the Dr. Social Whiz, trying to make it easy for our clients to integrate that social media into their marketing strategy without having to, outsource or spend a ton of money, ton of time on trying to keep that online presence. And social media does have a short half-life, so it's something you need to be consistent on to stay relevant. So this platform does make it easier to stay consistent on that, which then helps that algorithm reach. There was a study done with people using the AI pilot, which is integrated into this. And the studies showed that it was 50 to 70% faster content creation time for the users. They showed better post performance. And that's because the AI is not only creating content, but it's creating content rich. So it's for
It's
each
written better
platform.
than we could read it.
It's
Yeah.
customized for each platform.
And
So
it's
it
written
doesn't
better
just
than we could write it ourselves. Like it's
right.
pretty darn good.
Yeah, it generates platform optimized captions, hashtags. It'll do suggestions for you with just a couple clicks. You can create weeks of content in just minutes instead of hours. So instead of, spending 5 hours trying to create some content for the month, you can do it in like a half hour or do like a week of content in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
It writes smart captions. So for Instagram, it'll add the right hashtags and call to action styled to drive that engagement. And then I'll show you when we get into this, but instead of switching between different platforms and copy pasting and all of that stuff, you can schedule everything out in one platform and then you just toggle through the tabs. So you can just tweak for each interface. It makes it a lot more user friendly
Feel free
to
to, yeah,
get
you
things
can pull it
done.
up if you want.
Yep,
It's
I'm
pretty,
gonna pull it up here. Share my screen. Okay, can you all see my screen here?
yep.
Okay, so you have this calendar. So this is another great tool. You can see where you've posted, where you're missing posts. If you decide you want to change something, you can always grab it and drag and drop it to another day. And then creating the post, we're just gonna go in here. There's a couple ways, but every place takes you to this pop-up window. And in here, you'll see everything is connected up here. So any platform you have will be connected in here. And then this is what I was saying, you can toggle between each tab to then customize for that platform. Our original draft is going in here. So anything in this original draft is being pushed out to all of the different platforms. So just for an example, you can click either this generate with AI pilot or this little button here. It takes you to the same thing and it pulls out this window. So I want to do something about hormones and menopause. So I'm going to ask it, can you create me a post about bioidentical hormones and their benefit for menopausal women? And we don't need to worry about the spelling. My quick typing, it'll fix it for me. So then it pulls out a post for me. So then I can read through it, even generate some hashtags for me, and then I can just click insert. Once it's in here, you can always change something in here if you want, change out words. Maybe I don't want this little flower in there. I'm just going to take that out. And then now I want to make it optimized for Instagram. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to highlight it. And once you highlight it, a little tab will come out and then it's going to rewrite it for Instagram. You can rephrase it. You can change the tone of it. So maybe you think it sounds too professional. You want it to sound a little more friendly. We can expand it, shorten it, or even translate it. So if you have a large Spanish speaking community, which we have some clients that do, you can take advantage of translating it into Spanish. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it for Instagram. And now this is going to pull up underneath. And now I'm going to insert that into here. And then in here, we can generate hashtags. So you're just going to click that and maybe I want some more. So it's generating all of these hashtags for me. And now I'm just going to add those to these in here. So now I have more hashtags that are relevant for Instagram. Now I'm going to go into Google and I want to shorten this because Google needs a little bit shorter content. They have some character limitations. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to say, can you shorten this for me? Okay, so this is a little bit shorter of content. So now I'm going to insert that in here. So it shrunk it down a little bit for Google. So now all of these are different for each platform. Now I want an image to go along with this. So I'm going to click on this little Canva integration here. And then we're going to go down to this portrait size. Instagram did just update their portrait size. So we're going to click there. And then we can do something. We're going to do women. And then we're just going to pop this in here and then you can change in here. So, I mean, I like that caption here. And then we can put in learn more about hormone optimization. And then you can put your business in here. So we could we're just going to put a medical marketing whiz. And you can adjust the colors on this. So this integrates with your Canva. So if you have things uploaded in there, it'll upload in there. Maybe I want to change this color to purple. So you can do, anything you want in here as you would in Canva. And then you're going to click publish. And publish does not push it out. We just had this question. They should probably change it to insert, but publish just puts it into here. It's not actually pushing it out. So don't be scared to click publish in Canva. So now this is putting it into our post. Once we're done, we're just clicking the account we want it to go to and then schedule posts, and then you just get to pick your time and day that it pushes out to. Another feature that you can utilize the AI for as well is Facebook and Instagram has the first comment. So you can add in a first comment. So we're going to generate a first comment. And then we're going to insert this, but I want this to sound like it's coming from me. So maybe we're going to say, um, you know, we're just going to take this out and just say, we think it's such an important topic. We want to hear about your experiences. And then I'm going to take out the hashtags for that. And this is what I'm going to schedule out for my next comment.
What's cool
Once,
about that is you got to remember these social media platforms are all based on engagement. So you are guaranteeing engagement with your post because you're pre-scheduling the content, your first comment. Sometimes too, like with Instagram, a lot of times in your posts, like let's say you want to do like an RSVP for an event. On Instagram, you cannot put links in the actual post, but you can put links in the comments. So that's where you could customize and say, see RSVP in comments. And then they look at your first comment and now you've got your link in there. So like what we see a lot of our clients, like we use this when we're doing done for you marketing or like done for you social media for some of our clients that like just don't want to deal with social media at all. Then we also have clients that just like this platform because they're like, man, this is going to save me a ton of time. And I actually enjoy social media. And what they'll do is they'll pre-schedule their content for an entire month in like a half an hour on a Sunday night at the end of the month prior. So it just allows you to have really good, content, but not spend like hours and hours and hours doing it.
yeah. And then a question came in. So the first comment shows from you. So it would show from Medical Marketing Whiz. So that's why I put in here, we want it to sound like it's coming from us, not from an outside person commenting as Medical Marketing Whiz. So you may need to like rephrase this, and you can always ask it, you can go into AI and just we're gonna rephrase it. And it starts to learn you or your the way you talk, the way you want it, because we can always like rewrite. Um, and then we can do the same thing in here for Instagram. Uh, Another feature in Facebook and Instagram is the story and reel feature. So we can click story, and then this takes us out because it's not for that. So we're gonna remove this out. So then we can, and then we're just gonna upload what we have in here. So like if you create something, or you can do it in Canva. So here it gives us the size for a story. So you can create something in here that'll go onto your story. So maybe you want to just put in, you know, a little summary of things. You can
Put in happy birthday.
something with health. If you want to do something with your health. Um, there's
Oh, that's
templates.
good.
You can create something on your own. So then you just again click publish, and then this is going to go into your story. So it shows up down here. And then as long as it's on that story tab, that's where it's going. Same with the Facebook. Same function. It can integrate with YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok as well. So again, you would just upload what you want to do right here, drop your files in, and then you can write your description.
And then
You
also
can,
it does link with Google Business. So as we were
yep,
talking about your Google Business profile, and you guys are probably like, where are those posts that I was showing? Those posts come from here. Otherwise, you have to manually post on Google Business. So this just, again, you're not just only relying on Instagram and Facebook. You can connect your Google Business, your LinkedIn, all of your other platforms, and that's just going to be that much more content that's being published for you.
yep. And again, building out that digital footprint in all the different spaces, you're getting your keywords out there more, you're getting your name out there more. And again, super easy to just not have to copy paste. A lot of people will use ChatGPT, but now they have to copy it out of there and then insert it into Facebook, then copy it out of Facebook, put it in Instagram, and do it for each platform. This, you just do it in one space, and again, makes it so simple. You can, the highlighting of it to change it around. I want it to be more professional, and then it's going to change it to some different, you know, tone. So
Mhm.
sounding more like coming from a physician than a friend. And then we're
Yep.
going to insert. Um, so there's a lot of different ways to utilize this. Um, we use it ourselves, and I have found it very helpful for, creating those hashtags. And again, we haven't done any paid marketing, and just integrating these tools has helped us grow.
Yep. We won't have time to go into the reputation management piece of this, but this platform also does automated reputation management. You load your email list in, it'll text and email those people, ask them about their experience with your office. If they rate you a 4 or a 5 star, it will have them leave a Google review. If they rate you a 3, 2, or 1, it goes to a kind of complaint form where they can tell you what they didn't like about whatever their problem was at that time.
Yep. And I
But
can
it does
show a
not
quick
ask them.
little, we can show a quick little
Okay. Yeah.
thing here. It'll just take a minute.
Okay.
Gotta move my little guys out of the way, my little faces.
And I put in the chat, you guys, an entire demo of this
Mm-hmm.
platform. So if you want to like check it out later, it should be in the chat. I posted at 1:12 p.m. So you
Yep.
can check it out.
So email, you get this email, your patient or client would get this email asking to leave a review, and it's 5 stars, so it's clickable here. And then, a second email will go out. The workflow, again, if they pick 3 or under, it just leaves them to this little form here. And then if they pick like good or great, it gives the Google option there.
And it will do texting as well. This particular
Mhm.
client doesn't have texting set up,
Yeah.
but it will do texting and email. So
And
that's
then
another cool
yes,
thing all under one umbrella.
yeah. And then I see a question here. Yes, you can add videos for YouTube. So let me toggle back here. So in here, you're going to upload your video right here and then do your caption.
Nice. Cool.
So,
All right. Well,
yep.
thank you for that, Sherry. Okay,
Yep.
so we're going to wrap things up because we want to be mindful of your time. I did put this also in the chat. If you guys want to do your own SEO scan, I put that in the chat. If you want to do that, it'll send you that information. Okay, so wrapping things up, your checklist. Number one, if I leave you with anything, please do not wait to start incorporating answer engine optimization into your strategy, because if you wait, all of a sudden a year from now, 2 years from now, you're playing catch up and you don't nearly have the content that you need. So I will tell you, this is something that you want to take advantage of as soon as possible. That includes timely, relevant content, leveraging press releases, following SEO best practices for your website, leveraging YouTube, optimizing for local search. So all of your Google business and all of your local listings. Sherry talked about kind of how to use AI and social media. And then obviously we are more than happy to map out a plan for you guys on this. I want you to kind of take away a couple of things, right? You don't need to do everything immediately. But if there are a couple things that you're like, hey, that's a really good idea, I didn't realize how powerful press releases are, I want to start doing that, then maybe that's a thing that you're going to tackle in the next 90 days. If you need any help with any of these, or you want to talk specifically about your practice, obviously we have clients on this call that are already part of this. I'm really excited that you guys joined, because now you get a little bit of a better understanding of why we're doing this. But for those of you that aren't clients, if you like the idea of what we talked about and you want help, you can scan this QR code. You can get access directly to mine or Sherry's calendar, and we will spend a full hour with you on a strategy call. Couple of freebies. We have our book on Amazon. It is called Anti-Aging and Longevity Marketing. We will actually mail you guys a copy of this book, and we'll cover the cost of shipping. So all you'll need to do when I send out the replay is reply with your mailing address, and we will get that in the mail for you guys. So we'll save you the $20 on Amazon. This has got a lot of really great information in it. We also will do a marketing strategy call. You will get a 30 plus page marketing analysis. It's going to look at your website SEO, your website page speed, your listings, your online visibility. Well, we can talk about social media. We can talk about webinar ideas, event ideas. So this is usually at least an hour call that Sherry and I do, and our team puts a lot of time into these. So definitely take advantage of that. You can also learn a little bit about what we do and see if it's a good fit. The other thing is this Dr. Social Whiz platform that Sherry went over. We have a lot of clients that have it at the $497 a month. Because you were on this webinar, we will lock you in at $100 off on that for life. So you will get the social media scheduling. Sherry didn't even touch on all of the done for you content that's already in there.
No, yep.
That you don't even have. You can just type on the word M-Sculpt Neo, and all the M-Sculpt Neo posts are in there, or Botox or hormones. So our team also adds fresh content in there every single month. So you get that. You also get all the reputation management tools, and that is $397 a month. So that's $100 off of what our normal price is. So reach out to us if that's something that you want to take advantage of. I think we've been kind of answering questions along the way, but I'll see if there's any stragglers here that maybe we didn't answer. Give me a thumbs up if this was helpful. Hopefully you guys took away a couple of good nuggets here, and we'll be doing more and more webinars on other topics too. So
yeah, and I would encourage you to watch the training video that Lori put in there for the Dr. Social Whiz, because that'll walk you through all of it. We just touched on the AI portion of it today, since that's what this was about, but there's a lot of other tools, as Lori said, that are included in that video that you'll see.
yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right. If we signed up for this webinar, will we get a recording automatically? Yes. Give me about 24 hours because I got to do a little bit of editing, but I will definitely send that. And Dr. Doris, yes, we will reach out to you. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I know we went a little over on our time, but we wanted to jam pack it with lots of really good information. And then, yeah, follow us because we do these webinars like every month, every other month. Sherry and I are speaking all over the place too. So hopefully we'll get to meet some of you in person, which is always kind of fun. And I think that's all we got for today. So
Yeah.
thank you much. And we'll get the
Thank
recording
you.
out to everybody here shortly. All
All
right.
right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.